Honestly, we're at the point where you'll probably see a lot of YouTubers making these filler videos because there's not a lot of news out there. I think that this is the time where a lot of people diamond hands will be tested. So I believe these corrections, what they do is they scare people, right? And they shake them out of the market where you actually limit your gains. You got to understand the difference between your bear market strategy, your sideways trend strategy, to when we're in a full bullish trend, right? So we're just focused on a few things here. First and foremost, I believe the fear and greed index is most likely in greed as Coinbase and Robinhood rush to the top five, even crypto.com here, top five in finance apps. So even though people are excited and they would say retail is back, I truly believe that our bubble can get bigger, right? I think more new people, because when I talk to the average person, and in fact I got family here today, they still don't really understand what's going on in crypto. People, you know, still try to figure out if it's actually real money, right? So we're still at that inception point where retail is trying to understand if this is actually real, right? While we're in a point where people are actually in the market and that's new, or maybe this is their first bull run and they're asking themselves like, this can't be that easy. Well, it is, right? So if you bless yourself with the opportunity of having early movers advantage, the next step, in my opinion, is testing your diamond hands, right? The things that you truly have conviction on. So, you can look at this two ways, right? I'm seeing NFL players on Twitter screenshotting their salaries because they took Bitcoin in salary, right? You can look at it as a top signal, right? But then you can understand the grand scheme of things, right? The grand scheme of things here is that we are still early in the election cycle, right? This Q4, this we haven't even gotten quantitative easing yet, right? The US hasn't went in full stimulus mode just yet, right? We're just getting fed cuts while we're seeing across the world um, liquidity being injected and also stimulus. So it's important to note, even though it may look like your portfolio has grown tremendously, especially if you're in crypto, you've been in crypto for the last 2 3 years, you should be up. If you're not up, then you're obviously doing something wrong, right? And the one mistake that I've made is understanding the bear market post dramatic stress, right? I talked about this in the J5 Council about, how, I was up massively on Fred, right? I found Fred at $181,000 market cap. It's actually been noted on the Patreon, and it went to almost $300 million market cap. Now, I took profits before even being able to enjoy, the full top blast, but that's only because my mindset, right? Every time we get a dip or a correction, we kind of flip that switch into what we would have done if we were in the bear market. But we need to understand that we can currently, seem to be in a historic bull market, right? It's important to note that the total three is only in phase one here. And according to Crypto Rover, altcoin season starts in 10 days, well, 9 days, according to this post here, where we can see a parabolic move. I've made a model here showing you guys, just based off history, how high these altcoins can go. Now, is your altcoin going to go when my altcoin goes? Probably not, right? They all have their own seasons, they all have their own narratives. I'll share the narrative with you guys today, and I'll just get to it. The narrative right now on Crypto X is animal cruelty, right? So any type of animal that's been treated wrong, right, or been treated in a way where it's just unfair, people are launching tokens after these animals, and they're going absolutely parabolic, right? If you're part of the J5 Council, you know what we talk about daily. I would encourage anybody to just be a part of the council. It's not a council where we're trying to pump or anything like that. We just simply drop information based off our research, allowing you to have first movers advantage whenever you in some of these early meme coins that seem to be getting listed immediately by Binance, right? The other chart also has a green print here on our indicator, which historically every time we get a green print, we get a nice move to the upside. And if you wanted to doubt that, you can kind of look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin got his green print here, and then 2 weeks later, it exploded, right? So about 2 weeks after the green print was on October 14th, 2024, where well, about a month later, you're seeing the actual effects of that green print here on our model. So it's just kind of like understanding that we could potentially be in a super cycle, but not bringing that mindset that you had when we went through so much of that pain, right? So much of that negativity, so much of that capitulation, that time capitulation, that sideways action, right? It kind of make you, feel like you have to rush to take your profits. When if you just have some patience, you can actually succeed very, very quick and at a high level inside this market. 1.4 trillion teachers insurance annuity association reports holding Bitcoin. So we're starting to see colleges, universities, institutions all create these reserves utilizing Bitcoin, right? Hence the reason you're seeing Bitcoin running up to about 100K. So again, not much news here, but I agree with Miles. I've never been more exposed and still have FOMO. I said that in the Discord. It's like every time this crypto world pumps, and even if you're exposed or even overexposed, you still feel like you're underexposed, right? That's just the nature of greed in the market. So it's very important that you kind of stay humble. I talked about that in my video yesterday. You have to stay humble. Just act like nothing is happening. Just act like it's just a normal day, and it'll keep you grounded where you don't get too high or you don't get too low. You kind of like, okay, nothing changes here, right? Because at the end of the day, money is money, and when money doesn't make you happy, monetary and materialistic things are here today, gone tomorrow, right? And there's life outside of this stuff, right? So I always preach, health is wealth. Tell a loved one you love them. You feel me? And then everything else will come, right? Live every day like it's your last, but also wake up every day with love in your heart. So yeah, if don't fall into the FOMO, because again, you see here that there will be corrections along the way, even in a bullish trend. There will be corrections along the way. So outside of that, 100 billion asset manager VanEck says that their Bitcoin price target for this cycle is 180,000. Right. So now people have been forced to raise their cycle price targets. Right. I'm starting to hear 200K right now. Right. So many people talking about 200K. I'm not surprised that VanEck will say, well, maybe a front running happens at around 100K, 180K, right? Because Bitcoin is holding around 90K really strong, right? It's actually 88. When I woke up this morning, it was 91. So it's not like Jeet hands out here trying to, in a rush to sell their Bitcoin. And why would you, right? The U.S. is creating a strategic strategy that's they will be buying Bitcoin over the course of, I believe, 5 years and holding it over the course of 20 years. And we're not talking about no little bit of BTC. They're going to be buying like 200,000 or something crazy, right? It's going to be in the billions of dollars, right? And you got to expect if that happens, these countries, right, our entire country, each state will have a reserve. Institutions will have a reserve. We're starting to see these ETFs put boomers in a position to put their retirement money to use. So if you're retired, right, and you want to be able to leave your kids something and transfer that wealth, retirees are understanding to now put that money into Bitcoin because it's a savings account on steroids. So why would you put a certain amount of money into your savings account and get 2% over the year when you can put it in a Bitcoin and get anywhere from 5% to 15% over the year? So it just makes sense, right? So you gotta think that eventually each country is kind of like dominoes falling. Each country, China just went on their news and they like said, oh, U.S. is creating a reserve. It's not even done yet, right? Trump's inauguration is January 2025. And what I think is happening is the market is pricing in that bill or policy that they're creating, right? And everybody is getting FOMO and running into it because they don't want to be wait until after it's created to buy BTC. And you got to think about that. Why wouldn't, if the government already says that, hey, we're going to buy a certain amount of Bitcoin, right? Our country is going to have this Bitcoin in our reserve, right? Other countries going to follow. Why would they wait till after Trump to make the policy. The ETFs, right? When the ETFs went live, think about it. When the ETFs went live, BlackRock and them was already buying Bitcoin at 15K, 20K before the news, right? So common sense would tell you that they're already, that's why we're running up. They're already buying BTC. When Binance goes to list a meme coin like Peanut, they don't buy after the listing. They start buying and accumulating. And it's crazy that this thing is at a 2 billion dollar market cap. Another project where it's like I got into it at a $3 million market cap, and I would have never believed or dreamed that this thing would be at a $2 billion market cap. Go to the Patreon and just confirm with those guys, and they'll tell you like, yo, Millie been on fire. Like, I think somebody in the J5 Council yesterday just 17x their network overnight. Come on, bro. Net worth overnight. This is getting crazy. So the gist of what I'm saying is that Binance, when they go to list these meme coins, they don't wait to buy after the listing. They accumulate before the listing, and then they drop the news. And that's why it ends up being like a buy the rumor, sell the news event. What's happening is when Binance lists these meme coins, then crypto.com lists it. Then Bybit lists it. So you see how the exchanges work? That's the same way these countries are going to work once the U.S. creates this bill, this policy of the strategic reserve. So it's like, okay, let's accumulate up to the inauguration. Let's drop the strategic reserve. Meanwhile, each exchange is accumulating. And this is why Peanut is at a 2 point. It wasn't all Binance accumulating. It was crypto.com. It was Bybit. It's the same. It's the same thing with the big picture here. It's the same thing is going to happen with these countries, right? They're already accumulating now up to the news. And when the news happens, it's going to be countries that come in late, that didn't believe, didn't have conviction, and then they're going to be, right? People like us, retail, exit liquidity here. I also got a video I'm going to be dropping in the Patreon, how I actually find these narrative tokens, these animal narrative tokens before they explode, because it's like a list of them that I found before they explode, and with the help of people in our council, right? In our elite council, we got people that's just like researching all day, that's just dropping this stuff, dropping these news and keeping us on point. And that's what you need, guys, in crypto. You need to be able to network. You need to find you a group of people that think alike like you, right? Think like you. It's kind of creating a mastermind, right? And then y'all kind of like bounce ideas off each other. And, that way you stay sharp, right? Because each one teach one, you only learn it twice, right? When you say something that you already know and you say it to another person, you're kind of confirming it to yourself again. So that's why that term, each one teach one, you only learn it twice. I really, really like that term. So outside of that, guys, not a lot of news. Spirit Airlines did capitulate 2 days ago. So this is an actual stock. This is an actual airline here, right? And then you got like Peanut here sitting at a $2 billion market cap. So Brett, good chance this gets listed on Coinbase, right? Good chance an accumulation is happening here, and this gets listed on Coinbase. I wouldn't be surprised if something like Elon gets listed. These meme coins, Doge is going to be the king, because Elon is like the king of like meme shilling. He does it, and he doesn't even know how he does it. Like Elon Musk got like ultra instinct when it comes to like shilling memes, bro. Like he don't even know he's doing what he's doing. He's just like, his body is reacting like Goku and Ultra Instinct. But that's another story, guys. That's all we have. We'll continue to pay attention to the Bitcoin dominance here. I think when the Bitcoin dominance starts to go down, that's when we'll start to actually see our meme coins really, really fly. So this is kind of like the waiting room. Don't get sucked into like, oh, I made it, I'm gonna take all my profits. Like, chill. You might lose 1,000, 2,000 here and there, right? But the grand scheme of things, trust me, I'm telling you from experience, right? I may have lost 2,000 or 1,000 or 2,000 there, but then 2 weeks later, you see a token that you were holding now at a $2 billion market cap, and you sold early. You get what I'm saying? So at some point, this Bitcoin dominance has to come down. It's strong right now, and I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin dominance sucks more liquidity and heads up here to this resistance that we have somewhere between 63% and 62%. The previous cycle, this thing went all the way up to 70% dominance, guys. So Bitcoin can still steal a little bit liquidity and head to 100K. So just keep that in mind. And also, what you also want to keep that in mind here is the others dominance. The others dominance here, which when this thing prints a real, not a false green dot, but when this thing prints a real green dot, man, and it looks like the altcoin dominance here can fall back to maybe like where we at right now. We're at 8%. It could fall maybe back to some support here at the top of 8%. We don't want to see it fall too low, but if it does fall here, altcoins are going to get wrecked, right? If it falls here to like these lows and then explodes as Bitcoin and Ethereum holders look to take those profits and roll those liquidities into blue chips, mid caps, and finally our micro caps. So we'll pay attention to the others dominance and also the others chart here, just to get a good idea and sentiment of what's to come from crypto. So corrections are normal in the bull market. Be ready for them. Be prepared. Just go hard. Get your liquidity right, and eventually things will work out to the best. Of course, not financial advice. Understand risk management. Never invest what you are afraid to lose. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's your boy Crypto Millie. I'll see you in the next one.